Hello everyone, this is Jessie here with Ron. Another great episode of Ask Ron. We have a handful of questions. How you doing today, Ron?
Outstanding.
Terrific. So we're actually going to start with Mary-Ann Nunez.
Good old Mary-Ann.
Oh yeah. Ron, I plan on getting an LLC when I have done a few deals first because it costs about $800 here in California.
Yes, it do.
So if I do a lease purchase deal this October with the seller for a 3-year term, and since I don't have an LLC, will I have to put my name on top of the contract, or do I have to wait until the end of the year to change my name to an LLC on the contract?
Well, Mary-Ann, who else's name are you going to put on it if you don't have an LLC? That makes you personally liable for those payments. So $800 a night, if I'm going to lease purchase from a seller, I'm going to do it in the name of an LLC and make it liable for those payments. So maybe it's time for you to get one now. Maybe you don't need one until you know that it's time to sign that lease, but you're going to need an LLC.
Very good, thank you. Randy Connolly. I have seen mixed answers when this question has been asked, and it is a very common question, but if it's probably not worth the risk of losing the license if you wholesale. If you have a license and you don't need to wholesale, you may as well just list it, right?
Randy, I'm not sure I know how to answer the question because I'm not sure what the question is. Okay, so you have a license. That doesn't stop you from doing any wholesaling. I don't even know what state you live in. I know that Illinois has got a new rule going into effect January 1 concerning wholesaling, and you need a license to do it there after the first of the year, or you can only do 3 a year, I believe it was. But your license has nothing to do with your wholesaling other than that. So yeah, I don't know what you're asking me. If you said, if I can't sell it, I should list it. Well, if you own it, perhaps. But if you can't sell a wholesale deal in this market, something's wrong. That means you have probably agreed to pay way too much and probably just need to let it go if you haven't already bought it. And if you have already bought it, well then yeah, if you want to sell it, list it. Maybe if you clarify that a little better, I might be able to give you a more definitive answer.
Very good, thank you. Trevor Ricker from North Carolina.
Trevor?
I've gotten out of the state absentee owner that could not sell his house. It was on the market for 7 months. AVR is $195K fixed up.
$195,000.
That's right.
And it's RV.
Thank you. Seller owes $175,000.
Right.
He said he would let me take over payments of $1,262 PITI rent to own. Should I get around $1,600 to $1,900 a month?
Well, first of all, you don't want to rent to own it. You want to buy it. You want to buy it either with taking it subject to or with a wraparound mortgage. Then you'll own it, and the seller is no longer in control. You are. Secondly, if you're asking me what it'll rent for, the answer is I don't know because the market hasn't spoken yet. We don't publish the rent. We put the price out on the market, and we ask them when they call, preferably Pat Live, taking the calls 24 hours. They are already programmed to ask them what's the most you can put down. Then if you like their number, if they got $10,000, $15,000 or whatever, then you call them back and you ask them that again before you give them the lockbox code. Really, what is the most you can put down? If you like that number, you give them the lockbox code. The market tells us what they can put down. The market tells us what they can pay per rent. What's the most you can pay per month? Technically, we're doing a silent auction. They just don't know they're in an auction. So we don't never name the price of the rent. And there's no way anybody can tell you what it'll rent for. You can go on, what's the name of the site? Anyway, there's plenty of places you can go on the web and get some potential rents, but I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't believe any of them. Let the market speak. I can always get more rent that's posted on any site that it'll rent for. Assuming you're lease optioning it to a tenant buyer.
Right, and that goes for the second part of his question.
Buy that house, don't lease it from the seller.
It's got some repair issues, so knowing all of that, do you think my tenant buyer will have a problem getting bank financing on property with foundation concerns?
I would put a tenant buyer in it and let them do the work, which means you're going to have to lower that price. So if the ARV on that thing is $195,000 and he owes $175,000, don't you dream of giving that guy any money, because he's lucky to get out of it for what he owes. Now, if it has foundation problems, that ain't cheap. So I don't know what kind of problems. I don't know how much, but about the best you're going to do is take that property over and put somebody in it for $5,000-$10,000 as is, and let them worry about all the problems that need to be fixed. It's called work for equity, and you can get out of it if you want. If you buy it subject to, you can sell it subject to. Get 10 grand and go away, or you can buy it with a wraparound mortgage. Put a tenant buyer in there and collect the payments and make them to the seller. If you don't know what I just said, get to my training. You should not be doing this without getting to my Quick Start School anyway, Matt. Okay?
Very good. Willy Lopez from New York is next.
Okay.
Last question. If you buy a multi-unit property on seller financing, would you lease option the whole property or lease a unit with an option to buy and the rest just a regular lease?
Come on, man. How are you going to lease a unit if you can't sell the unit? The only way you could do that is if that unit is condoized, so that is the legal is for that unit so that you can sell it. If you can't sell it, you can't lease it with an option to buy. You could master lease the whole building if you wanted to one person that's responsible for a monthly payment on the whole thing, and they take care of the whole property. But if you're going to buy a multi-unit, usually you're just going to have to rent it to tenants, not tenant buyers.
All right. Well, that's it. That's it for this week, Ron.
All right. Well, here we are, almost at the end of October already. What are you guys going to do the rest of the year? Let's get some money made. Keep those questions coming in, and I'll see you next week. Same time, same channel.